Good morning, everyone. We will begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama for protection and the permission to participate in the plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Pray together the Amatsu-Norito Prayer of Heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand.
Taka amahara ni kamzumarimasu. Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto mochite. Sumeri oya kamurizana ino mikoto. Tsukushi no imuka no odono ahagi harani bisogi harai tamo utoki nari maseru harai dono o kamitachi moro moro no maga koto tsumi kegare o harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao suko tono yoshio amatsu kami kunitsu kami aoyorosu no kami tachi tomo ni ame no kuchi koma no mimi furi tatete kikoshi nese to kashikomi mo maosu Miroku om mikami mamori tamae sakihae tamae Miroku om mikami mamori tamae sakihae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihae tamae Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihae tamae Kanagara tamachi aemase Kanagara tamachi aemase Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end, your radiant divine light, shining evermore brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great light.
Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei. Johrei, we will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Truth, virtue, and beauty. Only deeds of love can bring forth a world completely filled with truth, virtue, and beauty. Paradise on earth will be a world of beauty, a place where the inner hearts of all its inhabitants are just as beautiful. One whose thoughts, words, and deeds are always pure, always beautiful, can surely be considered one who lives in paradise. God's purpose is to create an ideal world where truth, virtue, and beauty reign. Needless to say, the dark forces foster falsehood, vice, and ugliness. Beauty is necessary to the soul, as it brings joy and a sense of wholeness not only to yourself but to all who come in contact with it. It can be called a kind of virtue. The higher a civilization is, the more conscious it should be of the value of and need for beauty. It is essential that everyone cultivate a greater sense of aesthetic values. By so doing, not only individuals but nations as a whole will benefit, making beauty and its expressions in the various phases of life one of the in a contribution of immeasurable value toward the betterment of society, which will certainly serve as a means of furthering the realization of paradise on earth. Beautiful environments make for beautiful thoughts, helping to place a person's mind on a higher plane. This in turn reduces crime and other negative actions in society. It must be realized that any teaching that aims at high ideals should maintain an awareness of beauty.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters morning service. Thank you also for your prayers along with us for world peace. This morning, I want to share with you the faith experience of Pozobon, Rubin de Farias. She's from the Tangará da Serra Johrei Center in Mato Grosso, Brazil. Mariana is 30 years old, and since childhood, she had suffered from strong and frequent throat infections. She took antibiotics constantly. She experienced at least 2 throat infections each month. Her body couldn't handle so many medications she was taking, and she began having intense bouts of vomiting. In 2017, her doctor suggested removing her tonsils, as he saw surgery as the only solution for her case. However, she decided to wait a few months, as her school graduation was near. In the same period, a Johrei friend, who is now her husband, talked to her about Johrei. Thereafter, Mariana visited the Johrei Center, and when she received her first Johrei, she felt so much peace and joyfulness. Following a suggestion given by a late leader, Mariana continued to receive Johrei for 30 days, and during this period, she no longer experienced any infections. In early 2018, Mariana graduated and returned to her hometown, where there is no Johrei Center. Consequently, in order to continue receiving Johrei, she attended weekly Johrei gatherings at the home of a family of members in her town. For months, there was no more crisis, which awakened in her the desire to become a Johrei member, which occurred in May of 2018. However, 5 months later, she experienced a new infection. With the study of Meishu-sama's divine writings, She learned that she needed to go through the purification process to clean the toxins accumulated in her body by the excessive use of medicines. And that if that process was interrupted, the toxins would solidify again, which would lead to new and more severe purifying processes. Thus, she chose to face the purification solely with Johrei. Excuse me. Mariana received 30 minutes from Johrei with a lay leader who lives in her town and channeled self-Johrei for at least an hour each time. Within a week, she had completely recovered. From then on, Mariana no longer had throat infections, having been more than 3 years without a physical purification and without relying on any kind of medications. She recognized this as a great miracle because before being introduced to Johrei, she had lost hope of improving her health. Mariana is deeply thankful to God and Meishu-sama as well as to her ancestors for the permission to meet Meishu-sama and learn about our practice of faith. She continues to participate in the Johrei gatherings in her town, attends monthly services at her Johrei Center, and gives service as a class assistant for advanced training sessions and nature farming courses. Mariana has committed to bringing the light of God to the greatest number of people, especially to those who are undergoing purification, so that their life has happened to herself. Thank you very much for attending this morning service, for listening to this faith experience. I wish you a very wonderful day.
This brings to a conclusion our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be blessed day.